Hi, today we're making a frozen Elsa cake. I have to do the voiceover this way because my house is so noisy I can't do it while I'm actually making. As you can see, I'm just flattening out the bottom of a Dolly Varden tin cake. My daughter requested chocolate, so that's what she gets. I just wanted to make it flat. Obviously you don't need to see me going and getting utensils. I'm just coring out the middle. I'm just using a regular old apple corer. There's probably a more suitable utensil out there for this. I'm making do with what I have, so just taking out some of the centre to be able to put the Elsa Barbie doll in, which you'll see soon. Now, as usual, the Dolly Varden cake pan, even with two cake mixes in it, has come out short for the Barbie dolls. I did have this issue a couple of years ago when I did a different Barbie cake for my daughter, so I had things to do in the afternoon and needed to get the buttercream set. So I'm just putting that on the cake now, and I've chopped it up with a couple of cupcakes and some brownies. In the meantime, I then went to the store because I was short on time, I'm afraid, and bought a couple of sponges just to put at the bottom just to bring the height up. So we're just applying a very thin layer, well, sort of thin, of buttercream onto the cake for when we add the fondant later. It's called a crumb layer, so that it's nice and smooth when you put the fondant on and you don't end up pushing crumbs all the way through your fondant when you're laying it on. Once you've finished coating the doll, you will actually put the cake back in the fridge just to let the buttercream harden a little so that it's easier when you're putting the fondant on. Now that I'm up to rolling out the icing, I'm doing my interpretation of an Elsa dress that will suit the Dolly Varden type base, because obviously Elsa's dress is very sleek and slim, and the Dolly Varden tin is, the good old usual Disney style dress that's very puffy at the bottom, your ballroom style. So I'm being a bit creative in what I'm going to do, and I'm going to add a white piece at the front that has the quilting pattern with a couple of little edible balls for decoration. So I'm just rolling out a bit of white fondant. You're going to see me use a butter knife to add some lines in. I am just doing it by hand. If I was really finicky, I would use a ruler, but to be honest, couldn't be bothered, so I just did it by hand. The lines end up being quite wide. You'll have to forgive me for not showing you me putting the white piece of fondant onto the cake, but my iPhone, which I videoed this with, was getting overheated and did not appreciate being used for so long, so I had to give it a break. I'm now rolling out the blue fondant for the rest of the dress. It needs to be quite thin, it needs to be quite long, it's got to wrap around the whole cake. So we just need to get that all pressed out and then we can wrap it around the cake, which you'll see shortly. The camera angle isn't fantastic on this video, and I do apologise. I need to get a tripod that's a bit taller. This is just at bench height. But as you can see, I've rolled out the fondant. I'm now wrapping it around the buttercream filled base of the dress. So just starting at one end, pulling it around as far as you can go, smoothing out the edges, and then you cut off the base and smooth it down until you're happy with where it's all positioned. You can see from here the front quilting that's on the dress now, so it looks like the blue part is a bit of a layer as well, a little bit of a cape. I now just needed to roll out a little bit of extra because the piece I rolled wasn't quite long enough, so I'm just going to add that to the other side, and then I smooth the edges together so it all looks like one continuous piece. Adding the little edible balls is simple. I mean, anyone really could do it. You probably don't need a voiceover for it, but just taking the balls out of the container and adding it in where the lines cross on the white fondant. While I was waiting for the phone to finish cooling, I suppose, I cut out some snowflakes out of the white fondant using just fondant cookie cutters, or just cookie cutters in general, and I've just added them as embellishments on and around the dress. Once again, my phone started to play up towards the end of this recording, so it cuts out a bit abruptly when I'm trying to show you the dress at the end. But we've covered it with some snowflakes around their base, and soon you'll see the finished product in a photo. Thank you for watching, and I hope it's been a help.